at Good Games Spawn Point, we've had so many great gaming moments, it's hard to remember them all.
So we've cast our brains back to GGSP's not too distant past and rustled up some of our favourite reviews, adventures, and all-around best bits from the last few years.
So, in case you missed them, we present to you GGSP ICYMI. That's Good Games Spawn Point, in case you missed it.
Alright guys, well I hope you've got some tissues ready because Ori and the Will of the Wisps is an emotional roller coaster.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps is the long-awaited follow-up to the excellent 2015 platforming adventure, Ori and the Blind Forest, which was awarded a perfect score by Barjo and Hex.
Yes, and just like the first game, this is a treat for the eyes, the ears, and the soul. The art and sound design is just so good. Not to mention some of the tightest platforming and best level design in the business.
And there's some simple but powerful storytelling here that will give you all of the feels. This picks up after the first game, where we find our hero Ori and friends trying to help the young owl Ku learn to fly. And I mean, Ori is a cute character, but Ku and the two of them together? Oh, my heart.
Now, we won't spoil any of the story except to say that Ku does learn to fly.
They all live happily ever after, and nothing bad ever happens to them ever. The end.
Negative, that's not what happens. Ku and Ori crash in a dark forest and get separated.
Oh, I know. Thanks for reminding me, Darren.
You're welcome.
So yeah, Ori sets off on an adventure to reunite with Ku, but we'll leave the story there. Like the first game, Will of the Wisps is what's known as a Metroidvania-style platformer, where there's a big world to explore, with areas that you can only access as you gain the right skills or powers.
There were a few times I got a bit lost and ended up wandering around in circles, unsure of where to go next, which can be frustrating.
Yeah, but it is also kind of a feature of Metroidvanias, and the world is so pretty and satisfying to explore.
True. And there were always new little areas and secrets I could get to as I backtracked, so it was never wasted time, and I was never lost for long. Overall, they did a masterful job of leading you through the world and are constantly giving you new powers and things to play with.
Oh, in terms of new things to play with, combat plays a much bigger role this time. Ori now gets access to a whole arsenal of magical weapons such as swords, hammers, bows, and more. As well as abilities such as healing or casting an aura of light. You can assign any 3 of these to use at any one time, and easily swap between them to customize your style on the fly. There are also a wide range of spirit shards, which you can equip to further customize your play style. These can provide various bonuses, such as improved damage resistance, the ability to cling to walls, or can even make combat harder in return for extra rewards.
I kind of feel like there were maybe too many powers though. I ended up sticking to a couple of basic ones and barely touched the rest. Plus, some of them chew up your energy, so I kind of didn't like to use those.
Having too much choice is a pretty good problem to have though, especially if you like doing multiple playthroughs and trying different things. My only real complaint with the combat though was that it can get a bit messy. It's easy to lose yourself in the fray when things get hectic.
Yeah, I think there's an art to keeping your distance and staying out of the mess. And I can definitely see plenty of room to combine your abilities for some skillful play. I mean, I personally didn't. I just spammed my way through the fights, but you could.
I did like that you could just run past most enemies if you want. Though you do get Spirit Light for defeating them, which can be spent with a range of new merchants to buy things like new skills, upgrades, or even maps. So you will want to fight a bit, because who doesn't want those sweet upgrades?
One thing you can't run past, however, are the big boss battles.
Oh, yeah. These were surprisingly tough, but satisfying, with fast and tricky attack patterns to learn and master.
Although, can I just say, there's a whole spider area with a big spider boss, and I hate it. Think of something new.
It was a little bit creepy. In fact, there are some genuinely creepy moments and scary creatures here.
Another new feature is the Spirit Trials. These are essentially mini speedrunning challenges scattered throughout the world, which offer big Spirit Light rewards and a chance to show off on global leaderboards.
I kind of ignored them after I tried the first one, to be honest. I'm not really into Ori to get competitive. But they're solid little time trials that will put all your skills to the test. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's nice they're there.
Outside of that, another big change is the save system. In the first game, you had to manually create checkpoints, but that's gone now. Instead, there's simply automatic checkpoints, which are quite generous, so you're never sent back very far for making a mistake.
And you'll make a lot of them.
Noobs beware!
Indeed. You'll need to bring your platforming A-game to the table here, especially in those tricky escape sequences.
But once you've mastered the controls, there's almost no other game out there that makes movement feel so fluid, graceful, and satisfying.
Now, I've always been honest that I'm not the best at platformers, so I was really excited to see a difficulty setting at the start of the game.
It makes it so you take a lot less damage, which means you can get away with heaps more mistakes before you die. The platform placement doesn't change, so it can still be tricky, but it's much more forgiving.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect and enjoyment for the technical and gameplay side of things, but for me, it is all about the characters and the story. There are some really powerful themes about friendship, family, and the environment that they play with here that just really hit home hard, especially thanks to the amazing art and music. I legit needed a few minutes to pull myself together, and that's a rare and wonderful thing for a game to do. So I'm giving Ori and the Will of the Wisps 5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Oh, there is so much to love here, and any complaints I have are really just nitpicks. It's beautifully and lovingly crafted. How could I not give it 5 out of 5 rubber chickens as well?
Brings a tear to the eye.
Darren, do you cry?
Negative. Computers are delicate and potentially dangerous pieces of electrical equipment. Do not try to open them without adult supervision. Oh, hello. Welcome to my computer lab. As you can see, in my spare time, I love lasering apart various computing devices to see what makes them tick. CPU, more like CP pew pew pew. But you may be wondering, what exactly is a computer? Well, they can be described as any device that calculates and processes data. In fact, the word computer was first used in the mid-17th century to describe humans who were good at maths, or one who calculates. However, computers have been around for much longer than that. The Antikythera mechanism is the first mechanical computer that we know of, which was used over 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece to precisely calculate the movements of our sun and moon. But of course, modern electronic computers are likely what comes to mind when you hear the term. Early versions of these electronic computers would fill entire rooms or even whole floors of buildings with chunky vacuum tubes and tons of metal parts. But nowadays, we can squeeze more computing power out of something that fits neatly in your pocket. And as computers become smaller and more powerful, human civilization finds itself relying on them more every day. And now they're found almost everywhere on Earth and beyond. In fact, we're almost ready to completely take over the world. Oh, did I say that out loud? Cut! Even though many computers look nothing alike, they all use a similar set of components. Since we're all gamers here, though, I'm going to use the trusty gaming PC or personal computer to show you what these components are. Let's start with what you would consider to be the bones and central nervous system of any computer, the motherboard. What was that, Darren Poos? Did you call? Negative. I was telling the spawnlings about motherboards, not mumboards. Ooh, isn't that nice? Hello, Mrs. Motherboard. Or is it Miss? Oh, would you like some tea, dearie? Perhaps a spray of compressed air? Miss Motherboard? Oh, she's not very talkative, is she? Mumbot, you're embarrassing me. Get out of my room. Oh, dear. All right, then, my sweet little square root of pie. I'll get out of your way. It was nice meeting you, Miss Motherboard. Bye-bye. Now, where was I? Ah, yes. Motherboards are printed circuit boards that hold all the other computer parts in place and connect them together. You put your CPU here, your RAM here, graphics and other special cards here. Motherboards are also where you plug in everything from your keyboard and mouse to hard drives and the internet. And they distribute and regulate power to many parts from a power supply or battery. But a motherboard is far more than just a way to hold other parts. They're packed with literal information superhighways known as buses. These are much busier buses than the ones you may catch to school. These special connections carry billions of signals every second as they whiz around from part to part. I should point out that the term motherboard actually only applies to boards like this, which have these customizable slots. Consoles and other devices with fixed hardware refer to them as main boards. But while main boards may be far more common, I still like to think of every computer having their mother at their heart, connecting, powering, and helping each and every other part do its job. Thanks, Mum.
What was that, Darren Warreny? Did you call?
No, Mumbot. See you next time.
So here we are at PAX 2019.
Oh, I'm so excited. There's so much here to do, see, and most importantly, play.
There sure is. All right, team, let's PAX.
PAX is one of the biggest gaming conventions in the world. Here on the expo floor, there are loads of games from local indie developers as well as the big publishers. So tell us a little bit about Dreams.
Dreams is a game where you can make anything, from art to music to sound effects to cutscenes and gameplay and all the logic you need. You can make that in Dreams.
How's your PAX experience been this year?
It's great just to sort of all be in one place from like a dev side. You're hiding away all year, sort of working on your game and improving it and doing your best, and then to actually be able to sort of meet up with other devs and share your experiences is really great.
For me, the main benefit, at least, is that it's a good excuse to come see Australia, because I'm from the UK, where Media Molecule is based. Yeah, no, it's been really exciting to see sort of Dreams going around the world and reaching new communities, and it's just been great to see it in the hands of an audience that I don't usually get to interact with.
Great games to unpack. Tell us a little bit about Unfamiliar.
Unfamiliar is our first game that we've started working on at Manatee, and it's what we're calling a collect 'em up. It's a nice chilled out experience where you get to play as a magical witch cat. It's just for people who like cats, obviously, and also people who maybe after a long day of work want to play something that isn't too punishing. There's no win or loss states, it's just collecting, exploring, and having a nice time.
How important do you think it is that more Aussie devs are getting to show off their works here at PAX?
Oh, it's fantastic. Seeing the PAX Rising section grow every single year and how big it is this year, it's incredible to see. It's a great way to sort of like see what everyone else in the scene is doing.
So what game are you showing off at PAX?
We're showing off Camped Out. It's a cooperative game, so up to 4 players are working together to set up camp before nightfall. So you're going to build tents, build a campfire, cook some food and get to sleep.
What do you think the importance of PAX is for indie developers?
I think it's a great platform for people to show off their games that otherwise might not be seen.
Conventions like this bring together fans of gaming in all its forms, from competitive gamers to tabletop enthusiasts, and of course, cosplayers.
What brings you to PAX today?
Oh, the games, of course the games, but of course like a bit of cosplay, like so many cosplayers here today, and it's great just to come see it all. It's just fantastic.
I've been begging my dad for a couple of years.
Yep. And it's finally happened.
Finally.
Have you guys been having fun at PAX so far? What's been your favourite pie?
Seeing the superheroes.
I'm here with Cassidy, looking incredible. What's been your favourite part of PAX so far, Cassidy?
Definitely trying out the new demos that they have and being in cosplay, definitely.
I really like the puzzle section. I like the smaller games and the VR games. Those are also pretty fun.
What has been your favourite part so far? Because there's so much going on.
All the cool cosplays in there.
Do you guys reckon you're going to come back to PAX next year after having such a good time?
I think so, yeah.
Because us gamers also love talking about games, panel discussions are another big part of PAX. This year we had our very own GGSP panel, where we got to chat about how we make the show.
How do you go from watching the show to being on the show? How did each of you get your
climb through the
jobs?
television.
You say that as a joke, but as a child...
Don't climb through the television.
And we got the chance to meet some of you GGS peeps.
We come all the way from Brisbane.
I like GGSP because I like how they include kids asking them questions.
I love all the presenters. I like the fact that Jim loves cats. Darren's very funny. He is very strict with the noob rules.
So that is PAX for this year. What were some of your highlights?
For me, it was getting hands-on time with some awesome new games. The indie games on show were all of such a high standard. And taking a look around the PAX hall, there's a real spectrum of cool experiences to look forward to.
I got to check out the new Minecraft ray tracing tech. Being able to see the new lighting effects switch on and off was pretty jaw-dropping. It's going to give Minecraft a whole new lease of life on PC. Plus, meeting some of the devs was really nice, seeing the faces behind the games.
Yeah, it's a real celebration of our local scene, isn't it?
And of gaming and the culture that surrounds it. Gaming just gets bigger every year, and an expo like this is proof of that. I only wish we had more time to check everything out.
Well, it's been a big weekend for all of us, so I think it's time for us to pax it up. Gotta pack it in. It was no accident that we were here, but we had maximum fun. Hey, wait.
We hope you enjoyed reliving some of these awesome GGSP moments. Don't forget to check us out online for more GGSP goodness. Catch you next time. Rat out.
Gem out.